stress a bit on what he just said. The Bible created, God created Adam, and then he discovered that Adam was lonely. He said, let me give him a helper. So a woman is your better half. Even God recognizes us as your helper. So even God did not see a woman as the subject to the man. He said, let me give him a helper. The problem with our men is that they don't see the women as helpers. They see us as subjects. You know, and they just have to change their mindset. That is it. It has to do with this ego, African men ego.
Okay. All right then. I don't think it's an African thing, but ego, well, it's you.
It's an African thing.
Let's say your messages.
Okay, gentlemen and women in the studio, good afternoon.
Yes.
I am Lavina. When we talk about widows, my mother is a widow. But if you see her now, at the age of 56, she is very smart, strong, looking young, because she refused to sit down every day and cry for her dead husband. She woke up and started doing something. She is a hairdresser. She have her own salon. Her salon is one in the village which people love to make their hair.
Okay.
She teaches my younger ones how to make hair, and they are at Owerri doing the work. So widows should not widows should wake up and find something doing to take care of themselves.
All right then. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, bright ladies, feeders, NGOs, individuals, officials, personnels. Oh, come on. Okay, he's saying that she come and hire him. He said he needs young guys that would bring. Okay, let's just discuss.
Let's move on. Let's move on. All right, let's see if we can take your calls. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Ashio Steve. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Oh, you're welcome. Go ahead, please. But please be as brief as possible.
Women in the house.
Oh,
We greet you very good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you. I am happy today is your day. I am also using this opportunity to greet my mama in the village and my wife as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. The topic of discussion is quite an interesting one. And, I think it is not enough to say that the men should allow the women to, take over this, do that, without the women themselves going for it. A lot of women believe that, yes, the men should give them their place in the society.
Yes.
But I must tell you, there's nothing in life that comes, on a platter of goods. You must work for it. Okay, say for instance, on the radio programs we listen to every day, how many women call? How many women listen to radio programs? I am using this as a case study. The women should rise up to the occasion. I remember when Stella Jubrin contested for the, I think that was a primary election with the former president of the country, Goodluck Jonathan. Not one woman voted for her. Her vote was the only vote she had. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that the women should rise up and go for it, and not just allowing the men. Nobody wants to wait for you to come and take it over and take it all. You have to go for it. And secondly, I must ask this question, please. I want to ask the women this question.
Go ahead.
Is it possible, like the women keep saying they want equality, gender equality, is it possible for somebody who is equal to you to be humble or submissive to you? That's the question I want to put to you women.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. Yes.
Okay, let me answer that. What we want is to be given our place. What we want is for the men to recognize us as their helper. A man will still be allowed to be the man. The fact that you allow her freedom to keep her career. Are you sure about
that? Because that's the instances where, for one reason or the other, the woman is the breadwinner of the family. We have heard those tales of how she bosses the man about. There was even a time when it was men. Well, to some extent, men are still scared of an educated woman. They feel intimidated.
It's not
because there have been cases where the woman would forget her place and just boss the man around.
But people vary in character. You cannot just use one person to conclude that every woman will be the same. I also know a woman that is doing very well for herself. She's the breadwinner of the family, but she doesn't come out openly to tell anyone that she's the breadwinner.
So is it possible for the woman to be equal and still respect the man?
Yes. It is.
I would like to say,
It's possible.
in an organization where your boss is female, you respect her.
My boss is female.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you respect her.
Definitely.
When she
Thank
tells
you.
you what to do, you get the job done because she puts money in your pocket. When it's a family issue and your wife tells you, can we do it this way? You ask her, why to tell me what to do? What's the difference? Because she doesn't put money in your pocket. For me, when they keep screaming gender equality, it doesn't really mean that the women should be heads over the men. But if a woman is working hard enough, please do well to give her the respect, because she's actually proven that she has what it takes to achieve. It's not when she has worked so hard, you tell her, and you've worked so hard, but you're a woman now. It doesn't really matter. No, it does matter.
All right, so we have 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Before we take the rest of the messages, we would have to begin to wrap things up.
Oh yes, let's just take one more message before we go on. Please, what about a woman whose children are more or less babies and she doesn't want to hire a help for genuine reasons? Can't she take a break and take care of her younger ones? What sense does it make to pursue a career at the expense of your children? When the children start school, she pursues her career. This is Mrs. Smith from PH asking that question.
Okay, and it's a woman asking that question.
Yes.
You see, that's the problem. You know, this is the mindset. There is nowhere it says in the Bible that the woman must be the one taking care of the children. The way I see it is a shared responsibility.
Okay.
If I have to
answer her
work today
question,
and the
sorry.
man is staying in the house today, why not? The man can take care of the children while I go.
I think for me, from what she just said, if you have the kind of job that it's okay to take care of your kids. It's not out of place to take care of your kids. All you need, my point for a woman, to every woman is, don't be indolent, don't be lazy, don't wait for the man to do everything. At some point in life, when the kids begin to come, you need to take care of them. But when they get to a certain age, where they're old enough to, where you can actually just know how to create a balance more like it. But don't just sit at home all your life because you have children you're raising.
All right, so in a nutshell, what message do you have for fellow women, girls, all across Nigeria today in the International Women's Day?
Well, what I have to tell them is to change their mindset from using that word just a woman to realizing that they stand equal chances with the men.
Okay.
All right then, mommy.
What I'm telling the women out there is they should know who they are. The ones going to school, they should know the reason why they are going to school. The ones that are married or having children, they should know why they are there. Then to the widows out there, they should not sit or going around looking for man for help. Because I've also gone for help. The man said, give me what you have and I will give you what you want. And I don't want it that way. So I find my way doing something to train up my children. So you cannot sit because your husband is late, then you jump from one man to the other. No. If you do that, you're not a widow. You're no more a widow.
Barrister?
I would like to say today's theme is Press for Progress. For every woman out there, keep pressing to be successful, keep pressing to add value, press to create a balance, and press to be a success.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
You are a woman, dear.
I'll give you my last words later. Thank
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon,
yes.
ladies.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been Christy Ofo with us, Agnes Alabo. Yes, Alabo, and we had Eva Amadi. Thank you, Barrister Emma Amadi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, it's still today's hustle, and this is that time where we draw the curtains on our show today. Join us tomorrow for the Friday edition. My name is still Daisy. It's been a wonderful show.
And of course, we'd like to thank all those of you who were able to call in. Those of you still sending in your messages. The conversation continues online on Facebook at Today95.1fm and on Twitter and Instagram at TodayFM951. Stay tuned for the news update at the top of the hour. It has been today's hustle on Today95.1fm. Good afternoon.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Eric Baroni. The River State government has flagged off mass vaccination of children against measles across the 23 local government areas. Kick-starting the program in Port Harcourt earlier today on behalf of Governor Nyesom Wike, the Commissioner for Health, Professor Prince Chike, said the state government would not relent in investing in the health sector. Professor Chike was joined by the Permanent Secretary of the Primary Healthcare Board, Agriye Harry, who urged members of the public to cooperate with officials involved in the immunization program. Our correspondent, Victor Eziama, reports that the measles vaccination campaign in River State is being executed in conjunction with the World Health Organization, WHO, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. The River State government has requested additional time to enable it reach out of court settlement of its dispute with the Primary Health Association of Nigeria. The main issue in contention is the transfer of salaries of primary healthcare workers in the state from the Local Government Service Commission to the Primary Healthcare Management Board. The National Industrial Court, sitting in Owerri, Imo State, had asked both parties to report progress at the resumption of hearing today, but it was informed that not much had been achieved since the last time the matter was entertained in court. Counsel to the state government, therefore, requested for additional time, which the court approved and thereafter adjourned the matter until the 18th of April. The Nigeria Police Force has been advised to reconsider the mass disarming of local vigilante groups, especially in areas that are prone to attacks by armed criminals. This is particularly so around Dube area of Port Harcourt, where a local vigilante group had been helping regular security agencies to checking the activities of criminal gangs. The respondents said for such a group not to be armed would be to the advantage of criminals, which would put the life and property of citizens at risk.
More crime will happen. People phone bag, people go bounce up the door, break people shop, people don't feel they work out freely again for job again.
We can now work freely with our phones and the rest things. We will suffer. Please, government should look into them. If government will arm them with arms, let them arm them and train them before they arm them, because the armed robbers, the criminals, will reinforce and come back to steal.
It really affects us because we stay in this area, we know how this area were before, but right now things has changed, so please, we are begging.
The concerns are in respect to the 21-day ultimatum issued by the Police High Command, which is already being enforced by the River State Police Command. A member of the Dube Vigilante Group, Prince Amatare, challenged the Police High Command to take steps in improving security of citizens beyond disarming vigilante groups. The Kenyan government has declared that it was broke and unable to sustain its $790 million budget deficit. The Government Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich gave this indication at a Senate Finance Committee hearing. Rotich reportedly told senators to reduce budgets for each of Kenya's 47 counties by up to $178 million within this financial year. He said government was running short of revenue and there was a slowdown in business activities because of last year's disputed elections. And finally, the United States appears to have soft-pedaled on its plans to increase tariffs on steel imports, which sparked global concerns earlier in the week, leading to the resignation of the economic advisor to President Donald Trump. The Trump administration is now considering the exemption of some countries from the plans, according to an announcement by the White House. And that's the news update at 3 o'clock on your premium talk news and sports radio, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Join us at 4 o'clock for more news updates. Thanks for listening and good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Ngoma Youth Movement heartily congratulate Chief Prince Noble Amadi JP on his appointment as Caretaker Committee Chairman of the Local Government Area, Rivers State. We also appreciate His Excellency Chief Barrister Ezebunwo Yeson Wike, Executive Governor, Rivers State, for this appointment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Make our way, long live Rivers State. Signed, Honorable Gift Amo Okocha, President, Sir Chiolo Onyeka, Secretary, Ngwaba Youth Movement.
Bring it on, bring it on. You, bring it on. Life know the sweet though, hey. If some people know they hate to, so use the number 6 so and calculate. You go see the ratio. The beef self na me yo, whether na asu them relate to. So bring your own crayfish yo, we go mix so oh nah. Share na them talk say we no go blow. Share them they see us now, we don't glow. Take a look at me now, take a look at me now. We're running things in this town, can't you see? I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA President. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today95.1 FM.
Bring it on, bring it on. Are you ready?
You know, there are a few areas that define a man. Bike,
sports.
I think we can live with that.
A very good afternoon and welcome to another exciting edition of Today's Sports Live on your premium news talk and sports radio station Today95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. And of course on the show this afternoon we shall be looking at Nigerian club size on the continent as it was a bittersweet experience for them. Like just under 20 women's team, the Falconets get a tough draw for the 20 Women's World Cup to be staged in France. And from the UEFA Champions League, the old lady capitalized on the inexperience of Tottenham Hotspur to advance to the quarterfinals, where one man is saying bring them on right there as in Wenger, as Arsenal will seek to redeem what already looks like a shattered season as they take rejuvenated AC Milan side under Gennaro Gattuso. My name is Emmanuel Tubuza. This afternoon the top striker set to give you the best from the world of sports this afternoon. On the show with me this afternoon, cutting the man that start from the ladies first. Chibo Gwina de Gwina, I'm nice to have you this afternoon.
Good to be here, top striker on the International Women's Day, and on the day when we had the draw for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, pitching Nigeria and Germany, two sides that have met in the final twice, and here they are again. So it's a fantastic day to talk sports, and it's very good to be here.
And of course, we just don't have a female footballer through the studio, but of course, not the winner represent everybody, the female award out there. Of course, Mika Dela right there. Nice to have you this afternoon.
My pleasure, the top striker, and the happy International Women's Day to Chibbogo in the house, and all the women out there. There are lots of them, you know. Exactly. My mother, my sisters, all the women out there. Happy International Women's Day. I mean, what can the man do without the woman?
So have right there Zazie, Zazie, that's to have you this afternoon.
It's good to be with you, Manuel.
And of course, good to be with you too this afternoon. You can also be a part of the program this afternoon via various feedback platform and SMS and WhatsApp. We share the same number 0701-9339-962 for SMS and WhatsApp. While the phone lines will be open for you in due time for you to air your opinions live on the show. We're on Twitter at TodayFM951. Also, you can tweet at Emeka Dena and of course at Chibogu _ and right there. We'll be right back to get the show on the way. Let's start from the CAF Champions League this afternoon, where MFM FC head coach Fidelis Nechuku is confident his team will make it to the group stage of the CAF Champions League despite the slim 2-1 win against MC Algiers in the first leg tie at the Agege Stadium yesterday. The Lukoya boys toiled hard to record the win, with Monsuru Bashiru scoring the winning goal 5 minutes from time off a powerful shot from outside the area. Chijoke and Kuneto had put the Lagos-based club ahead from the spot in the 6 minutes, his second goal of the competition, but Amachi level scores for the visitors in the 55th minute. The Algerians have a scary record at home in the competition this year, having battered Atoho of Congo by 9 goals to nothing in the previous round after losing 2 goals to nothing in the first leg. But Chuku is not intimidated by the record and insists his side will adopt a positive approach in the reverse fixture.
It's a great game. You can't go for victory, but we show a lot of chances. We could have buried that game 4-5 days, but it did not happen. Going forward, we have to plan. We're going to train, we need to plan. We need to find a solution. People are reaching us up, but it's not possible. We can see confident that it's 100% possible. 50-50, that is the issue.
Meanwhile, in the CAF Confederations Cup, Nigerian representative Eyimba FC and Akwa United recorded contrasting away results in their respective first leg games yesterday evening. Eyimba defeated Energy FC of the Republic by 2 goals to nothing away from home, courtesy of an own goal in the 90th minute and strike from Austin Oladapo to put themselves in a commanding position ahead of their second leg clash on March the 18th. Akwa United were however not lucky as they fell to a 1-0 loss at Al-Ittihad Tripoli of Libya and will have to overturn the deficit in their home leg at the Nest of Champions on March 18th to have a chance of securing a place in the play-off round. Emeka, what do you make of the results yesterday by MFM FC, looking at the opponents and their antecedents for playing away or beating their opponents when it comes to their home ground?
Good one for them, but I mean, they should have kept a clean sheet. That would have made the results even better. If they had converted the numerous chances that came their way, you heard from the coach there, they missed so many scoring chances, but they're able to convert to the second contender for goal of the tournament, another contender for the CNN Wonder goal. I mean, it's gone viral on social media already. That one from Bashiru Monsuru, screamer from about 30 years and beautiful one. But at the end of the day, it's not a very comfortable lead. That's the fear, because look at the antecedents of the opponent they're facing this reverse fixture out there in Algeria on a ground where they slaughtered Otoho of Congo 9 goals to nothing after losing the first leg 2-0. So it tells you they have character, they can come back. MFM won yesterday 2 goals to 1, but trust me, the Algerians have what it takes to cancel that 1 goal deficit and even score as many as they they want to, if MFM give them the chance. So it's not a result that you will be very comfortable going to Algeria for the reverse fixture. But be that as it may, it's good that they won yesterday and they have a fighting chance. It is not won or lost until it is played there. So it depends on what they do there in Algeria come next weekend. But I'm not really comfortable with the result. That's the truth of the matter.
Still, realistically, did they have a chance to come back and win or get the draw away from home?
It's football. They have a chance, honestly. But how realistic is that chance, considering the pedigree of the team they are facing? Remember, MFM are playing in this competition for the very first time. Inexperience might also hurt them going over to the cold night out there in Algeria, in Algiers, when they go for the reverse fixture. That game has been scheduled for about 8:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Very cold out there, and you heard the coach saying they will have to train at night here in Nigeria. They also may want to travel on time, so they'll be able to acclimatize and all that ahead of the reverse fixture. But having said that, I think it could be end of the road for the MFM side, because all the Algerians need to do is to just score 1. They don't need to score 9 like they did against the Congolese, and that wouldn't be asking for too much, because they scored 1 yesterday. At some point in that encounter, it was 1-1. So I think they'll be able to do that, because everything will be in their favor. The weather will favor them. The crowd will come out to watch them, and I'm not sure MFM will be traveling with fans to Algeria for that match. So I think they will eventually get the needed win to advance to the next round. MFM could just be on their way out after the second leg.
Good job done by the People's Elephants. Do you see Energy FC doing an Akwa United on the return fixture?
Energy. Seriously, they cannot do an Akwa United. I mean, on Eyimba. We know what Aqua United did to Hawks in the previous round before this one, where they lost at home and went away to eventually get the result. And here we have a team like Enyimba going away to beat them. Energy are not a side that you reckon with in football. Not to talk of their national team like Benin Republic. I mean, when you even compare, it's not the same Nigeria that still knocked out Benin Republic to make it to the CHAN competition. And this time, it's like them being represented in their club form. So I don't think Energy has anything to do. They don't have the energy for Enyimba as far as this tie is concerned. As soon as I saw the result yesterday, I knew it was done and dusted, and Enyimba would just come and seal it here at home.
Zazie, what are expectations for Aqua United in return leg against Al-Ittihad at the Nest of Champions?
Well, they were able to go away, not get embarrassed, got a respectable score. In as much as they lost, it was just 1-0. I know there will be this bit of disappointment that they did not get that away goal, which is always very crucial. But don't forget also, it wasn't a high margin loss, it was just a single goal. And coming back home, you would expect that they will come back home and finish the business. And if Al-Ittihad are to go like every other North African side, they go away from home and defend and try to hit you on the counter, and that will be playing into the hands of Aqua United, who can pile all the pressure for all 90 minutes. I think that will be playing into their hands, but again, they have to be very careful because they cannot afford to concede at home. That's one thing they cannot afford to do. If they concede at home, then they must score 3 if they concede at home. And if you're to look at Aqua United, though defensively in the MPFL, maybe you would say a bit decent, but I have not been particularly impressed with their defensive play. I've not seen them as a side that can play against top sides on the continent and not concede. I know they went over to Gambia in the previous round and won by 2-0, but that was a Gambian side. We are talking about Al-Ittihad.
They also have pedigree in this tournament.
Yeah, they do. They have their own pedigree in this tournament also. So, in as much as it wasn't a wide margin loss for Aqua United, I think it was still a very dangerous result because, like I said earlier, coming back home, if they lose concentration in quotes and concede the way they conceded against the Gambians here, they must score 3 at least to proceed, and that's really difficult.
And another thing for Aqua United, they have to take their chances. The chances will definitely come. Now, in the previous round against the Banjul Hawks of Gambia, we understand that they had 24 shots on target and scored only once. The Gambians didn't have up to 3 shots on target, but they eventually scored 2 goals. At the end of the day, they won here in Uyo. But of course, over there in Gambia, Aqua United were able to do the business. But coming back home to face Al-Ittihad, they have to take their chances. They can't afford to be wasteful. They will be punished. At this point, if you lose here, you're out of the competition, and they can't afford to, because they survived the scale of Banjul Hawks. Coming back home, they have to be clinical in front of goal. They definitely have to take their chance because these chances will come. Definitely, it will come. But the point is, will they be able to convert those chances? They can't afford to have 24 shots on target and score only 1. When the reverse fixture takes place, so they definitely will have to be prolific in front of goal in terms of their strikers.
Chibogu, for the MFMFC, should they fail to progress to the next round to fall back in the CAF Confederations Cup, is this something that can make them let us not kill ourselves over here in the return fixture in Nigeria? Is something that the coach will tell you? Because the coach himself is already scared of the team he's playing.
I think where the factor of being scared is coming from is the way they dispatched their previous opponent. So, 9 goals to nothing. And that was also after a 1-0. That was after they had lost. Yeah, they had lost in their first game and they eventually. So, it's something that MFMFC could be scared for. They got an away goal. That's another thing that is very critical when it comes to this cup competitions in the continent. So, as a matter of fact, I think it should be them facing the encounter with we have nothing to lose, because dropping to the Confederation Cup is not going to be. It's MFM. It's their first time. This is one excuse that they have, and Plateau United also have, because you also look at the fact that I remember when Plateau United considered 3 goals under 10 minutes. Like some people like it's inexperienced. So that excuse is sort of already made for these teams. So I think dropping to the Confederation Cup is not going to be an embarrassment. And you never can tell how far they will go if they do drop there. But I'm not giving up on them. I think they can still go there and get a result. I mean, it's not something they cannot achieve. So let's just give them that chance. I don't even have the money to put on this guy.
You don't have the confidence of them going through.
I'm not giving up on them.
By default, I'm giving up on them.
Yes. I don't see them progressing to the next round here.
I gave up on them from the first round. They surprised me. They are here now. I gave up on them even at home, that they wouldn't be able to beat MCLGS at home.
Okay.
They were able to win at home.
So
I've given up on them away from home. Let's see if the trend will continue.
And of course, what about you out there? If you're giving them already, keep the calls coming this afternoon. 0817 0000951 0810951091. Let's say your take on the program this afternoon. Nigerian clubs on the continent last night. Mixed reaction on mixed result right there for anybody who went away from home to win. MFM FCD won by a slender margin, 2-1. While Aqua United, they lost away from home by a lone goal. They had the chance to qualify for the next round of the tournament right there. Earlier on Tuesday, Plateau United went down 4-2 to their opponent right there. Keep the calls coming this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name and location, please. Welcome to the program. Go ahead with your contribution.
I wanted to update on this CAF, this is I'm going to 4 and that is A to A, B, C, D. This is how we are going to time. And should any of these people fall out now, would they go down to play a competition cup?
Yes, those in the Champions League. When you fall out, you go down to the Competition Cup.
When are they going to this is happening in the stage of the cup now?
It's not 16 teams. It's not 16 teams. 4 teams per group: A, B, C, and D.
It's now 16 teams, 4 groups of each, 4 each.
Okay, but the competition cup is not like that.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They still have another round to play after now.
Well, I wish them the best of luck, but I am seeing it that next week will be a black week on a Grand Club title. You will be surprised that only 2 I survived.
Which 2 do you have in mind of going through?
I already remember it's true. I don't know the next one I will follow them, but the 2 must go down. Watch out.
Okay, let's hear from other callers this afternoon. For him, it's going to be a black week on Nigerian football next week because he sees 2 of them going down the drain in the competition. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody in the studio.
Good afternoon. Your name and location, please.
Eto,
welcome to the program. We have your contribution.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. For me, we are going through. Despite that, we lose 1-0 at away. Coming back to our home, we are going to bash them by 3 goals to nothing. Take the result to the bank. I tell you that Aqua United is going forward. We can't just afford, despite the huge investment we are investing on the team, we can't afford to lose it. We are going through. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, when I quite a fan right there say you can take it to the bank and you're going to win by 3 goals or nothing. There's so much investment on that team, you just cannot go down that way. You're not going to officiate the match, are you? If you're going to officiate the match, perhaps you can call some officiating right there. 0817 000951 and 0810 9510951. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Your name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Moses. I'm calling from New Barra.
Welcome to the program. Can you be a bit audible, please?
Okay. To me, I think for our representative, I think they can stay to for Plateau United to go away and score 2 goals. So the most important thing for them to get a goal, and they were able to get one. So I see them going to even Aqua United, for them to at least not lose by a long goal. They can come to this thing Aqua and make it happen. And like the way they did when they went to the other country to they won away. Yeah. I fancy the chance of making it.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost that caller right there. Keep the calls coming through this afternoon. 0817-000951 and 0810-951-0951 for the SMS and WhatsApp. They share the same platform. 0701 for the SMS and WhatsApp. 9339-962. 0701-9339-962. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Your name and location, please.
This is Antonio.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
I'm calling for a radio video. Please, can you update me on the national strike?
On the national strike, this is not the program. This is a sport program. Today's Sport Live is the program. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, we lost that caller. Keep the calls coming through this afternoon. 0817-000951 and 0810-951-0951 for the SMS and WhatsApp. You can send to the number 0701-9339-962. Let's hear your opinion this afternoon. Nigerian clubs on the continent contrasting results right there. Akwa United lost away from home by a lone goal. Enyimba won away from home by 2-0 as MFM won 2-1 at the Soccer Temple in Agege. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm calling from LMN.
Go ahead with your contribution.
Good afternoon, Mekadina Chibogo.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Yeah. Obeni. Yes. I'm very happy.
And the Calabar.
No, that was small time we are coming to Ada. Yeah, very soon, I believe so. So, we have spent 3 years after the Ada. I believe that we are coming to Ada. Yesterday they did well on winning their first match, the competition 2-0. That one is already done. Talking about Aqua United, I'm seeing Aqua United the progress. But in my own, MFM is my church, my pastor in the MFM church. So that's my thing. That is the way that this Odega team, that team, they are very conservative at their home, because the MFM is not only the players, they are going to play the pass. I know they are pass, you know how they will come out a match to make sure their team must progress. That's where I'm looking at. The electric, they can go there and go their game without afraid of the pass and other things. I'll see them coming out with a good result from there.
Okay, thank you so much. See them coming out a good result from there. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. I keep the calls coming through this afternoon. 0817-000951 and 0810-951-0951. One more call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am the best calling from Asa.
Welcome to the program. We have a contribution.
Okay, Minda. I'm seeing that Paul Abogo is proving me wrong anytime, any day. Because since the season started, when Paul Abogo went loyal to the Enyimba, we the fans were annoying. I can see that this time Paul Abogo is trying to prove himself. So we are very happy for him. Let it keep it up, and we also continue to support Enyimba wherever they go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right there, Mecca.
You know, Imba could have won the match easily by 3 goals to nothing. They missed the penalty yesterday. Steven Chukwude, the penalty was saved by the goalkeeper for Energy FC of the Benin Republic. So it was a very brilliant result from the Imba side. Second leg, as far as I'm concerned, is a mere formality.
It's a mere formality, and it wasn't Mecca. Let's wait and see. We just hope they don't do anything on Akwa United right there.
God forbid.
In the city of Calabar. Let's move to the camp of the Falconets this afternoon, where the Falconets of Nigeria have been drawn in the group of death, Group D they call it, of the France 2018 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup alongside Haiti, China, and 3-time Under-20 Women's Final. Germany, the draw ceremony was held at the Opera House Rennes this morning. Africa's other representatives, Ghana were with host France, New Zealand, and Netherlands in Group A. North Korea will take on England, Mexico, and Brazil in Group B, while Japan will fight it out with USA, Paraguay, and Spain in Group C. According to the draw, France will play their opening match against Ghana on the 5th of August. Right there. Tough group right there. You want to say, Emeka, what do you make of Nigeria's group being placed alongside Germany and China.
Just like you said, it's a tough group. Except for Haiti, who are making that debut in the competition. The other, two teams in our group, Germany and China, are season campaigners when it comes to women football. China have not exactly hit the mark. The Germans have hit, but of course, when it comes to the history of women game, China, one of those nations that started very well, and they did quite well those days. Even though these days they are like sleeping giants. But this is under 20 World Cup. Nigeria have got what it takes to qualify from that group. The only threat there is Germany. Germany stopped us from winning the title twice.
China.
We are beating them in that group. Trust me that we're going to beat them in that group. And Haiti, we joined Germany to qualify from that group. Tough group, no doubt, but I think the four corners can progress.
So with Nigeria's history of getting to 2 finals and 20 Women's World Cup, do you see them going beyond the semi-finals at this tournament? Looking at what Christopher Danjuma has done with this year thus far.
It's hard to say really, because even in 2016 they didn't go beyond the group stage. I mean, they were with Peter Dedebo, one of the he was the coach that led them to the final in 2014. So one would have expected that, if for nothing, the experience of being there would count a lot, but it didn't happen. They ended up being knocked out in the group stage. So, but then again, looking at everything, they draw down Group D. Germany and China. This is the first time, for a start, that Nigeria will be meeting Germany in the group stage. The other times they've met were in the knockout rounds. The first time was in 2004, the quarterfinals, and Nigeria was knocked out via penalties eventually in that one. And then moving on to the 2 finals they met, that was in 2010 and in 2014. Of course, we know how painful that one of 2014 is still tomorrow. But then again, here they are meeting. This is going to be like Nigeria's first game, will be against Germany. It's going to be tough. Germany are 3-time champions alongside the United States of America. They can be said to be the most, should I say, those that they've won the most titles. So they're the most successful, United States and Germany. So speaking of China, I mean, at least Nigeria can boast of being one of those countries that have made it to all of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, even when it was Under-19. But China, cannot. China were not even there in last year in 2016. Sorry, not last year, in Papua New Guinea. China were not there. They're making a return for their 6th appearance this time around. The times that they've made it to the final, that was in 2004 and 2006. Then they were runners-up, and those were the only 2 times that they had Nigeria in their group. And now they are back again and they have Nigeria in their group. So what does this tell us? Will they be in the final again? I never know. But I'm not saying anything. I'm just going back, back in time. Yeah, back in time. And come to think of it, in those times, China finished above Nigeria in the group. And so here they have China, they have Nigeria and Germany, and only 2 will make it out of the group. Leave Haiti now. They came to learn. They just came to see how things are done. They go back home. Leave Haiti first. So I mean, Haiti will be playing the first. Maybe China will use that one to show that, oh, fine, they have arrived, because they are playing their first game against Haiti. So it's going to be a lot easier for them. So it's an interesting, tough group for Nigeria, and this is really going to test them a lot. Let's see what they can do. The likes of Rashida Ajibade, they've continued to show the stuff they're made of and all. Then you want to also look at the other African country that is there, Ghana. What should we expect? They've never made it out of the group stage before, but they have one girl called Priscilla Adubia, who's actually shining not just for the national team but also for her club side as well. And so I think it's going to really be tough and interesting to see how far Africa, and if we want to be particular here, Nigeria can go at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup.
So that's when the maker was talking about trying to pin down the chances of China, you smiled. You looked at him and you smiled. What was the take on the group? And of course, Ghana being grouped alongside the host nation France and the Netherlands. What are the chances?
I was just happy with his confidence. I think if we are looking at China, China should be looking at us also, because they haven't achieved more than we have achieved in this particular tournament.
What does they achieve? 2 finals.
2 finals. Achievements, silver medals, 2 of them. Asian will tell you how sweet a silver medal could be. Same we have achieved also, only that ours have been more recent. Ours in 2010 and 2014. There's around 20 or 4 thereabouts. Those are the times that they won there. So we look at ourselves and we want to think that if we put up our best game, of course, we should be able to go past the Chinese. But I think the decisive game in that group would be that opening game against the Germans. They are looking like the most difficult side in that group. Didn't particularly do too well in their championship. That's the European Under-19 Women's Championship last August. They didn't particularly do well. Had a romp in the group phase, but going to the next stage, they were knocked out and just qualified as one of the best 4 teams there. But any day, any time, they are a stronger position, and coming up against them first may be difficult because you know the usual Nigerian thing, we grow into tournaments. For that, it's always preferable for us Nigerians to, start with the weakest team so we could grow as the tournament proceeds. But this is what we've been presented with, and we just have to work with them. You expect us to beat Haiti any time, any day. The decisive game again will be against China as well, because it's expected ordinarily that these 2 teams, Nigeria and China, would lose to Germany. It's also expected that these 2 teams will beat Haiti. So just maybe if all these permutations get into place, the decisive game will be that one between Nigeria and China. So we just have to put our hearts together, and the big players in that team have to step up. I seem to have a lot of confidence in Rasheedat Ajibade. She's one person that can carry a team along. But what about the team as a whole? We saw her at the Under-17 World Cup do all the work by herself, but the team could not move. What about the team now? And a lot will be expected of Chris Danjuma also, because apart from the brilliance of the players that you take there, the tactical acumen of the manager must come in as well. We haven't really seen him at the big stage before. As a matter of fact, the only time he led Nigeria to an African stage, he was practically embarrassed. So this is a time for him to show that he's a top-level manager.
Emeka, 2010 and 2014 we make reference to. Can you compare the caliber of players in those teams to the caliber of players we have in this team at that time now? When you use old women to go on 20 tournaments, when you use old women to go on 20 and brush aside all those small guys there. No, that's true. I think that era was when the Biroji played 3 consecutive under 20 World Cups. Yes. Again, it doesn't happen often in women football, but look at the quality of players then. 2014, especially where you had the likes of Courtney Dickey, Adesanya Shola, so many of them, so many young ladies who have all basically graduated into the Super Falcons these days. Esther Sundays of this world, Cecilia Nku, mention them. And I mean, high quality players, no doubt. But these days, we don't have a good system here in the country that will help us churn out these players. All we need to do is just go recycle, bring guys who have played under 17, take them to under 20. At the end of the day, go around the MPFA clubs, those that claim that they are below a certain age, they fall into that bracket, just invite them to the national team and all that. That is not the way to go. But it's been working for us somehow, but that is not basically the way to go. The quality then was much better than what we have today, no doubt about that. I'll say for Rasheedat Ajibade and maybe Imo Anam, who is quite brilliant as well, especially during the qualifiers. It's difficult to even choose another quality name in that.
How about Charity?
Charity Ruben. Okay, Charity Ruben. One of those old ladies too. It's not important to hear from you this afternoon. 0817-0000-951 and 0810-951-0951. The Falcons have been placed in Group D alongside Haiti, China, People's Republic, and Germany in Group D. What are our chances in that group? While for other African representatives, Ghana are in Group A alongside the host nation France, New Zealand, and the Netherlands. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and location, please?
My name is Sele West. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Sele West, welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I think that group Nigeria find themselves is a very deadly group. You see, China, if they want to come to any of their world tournaments, they can use even 6 years to prepare. So I don't see Nigeria qualifying there. Germany and China.
Hello. Ron Celebrate right there. Keep the calls coming. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and location, please.
My name is Jason. I'm calling from Oyibo.
So welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
Please, is it the Falcons or the Falconets?
Falconets on the 20. Falconets.
Okay. It's a top draft. Any group that has Germany in it is definitely a top group.
Okay.
So I hope we just get through.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I hope the skill through right there from group of dead. You did a college right there. Keep the calls coming through this afternoon. 0817-000951 and 0810-9510-951 for the SMS and WhatsApp. You can send to the number 0701-9339-962. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Michael Sultan.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, concerning this girls, it's very interesting to hear that they have even qualified. Most times, you guys have not updated us about the female football, but it's a good thing. They've already. The group is very tough, but based on the brilliantness of the Nigerian spirit, the fighting spirit. We can fail to coming to technical ability of our coaches, indigenous coaches. Is for me comparing to the global stage and the foreign counterpart. They are zero. Honestly, both even in the national, main top side also. That is why in the continent we are struggling. So. Dealing with their individual skill and energy. Then when it comes to the level like quarter-final, semi-final and final, you see the coaches that are qualified to that extent winning the match from the bench. For our own, you don't see those things. So I pray the girls by their strength and their...
nothing right there. Hello, good afternoon. Well, keep the calls coming through this afternoon. 0817-000951 and 0810-9510-951 for the SMS and WhatsApp. You can send to the number 0701-9339-962. We have some messages, Azi?
Yes, we have this one coming from Harry SF, and he is saying that the players that we are referring to as old women is asking if we are their fathers. Okay, and asking what the international passport says. He says the draw is tough and he's hoping for the best in that particular one. And Ruben says he wants to know the team Imba will play this weekend in the MPFL. They are supposed to be away to Rangers. So with that much hope.
Yes, we'll hold.
Okay.
Back to the phone lines this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name and location, please.
This is Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Chris, welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
Yes, please. I want to talk about Enimba and the exploit yesterday at Kosovo.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, it's not good that a club like Enimba with a pedigree that the club has, that when these people are coming back to play in Nigeria, they will be going to Calabar, which is not Enimba's traditional home ground. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to the governor. He comes from that zone where Enimba is located. And it is a shame that up to for 3 good years now, they are reconstructing a stadium. And Enimba is playing football at Calabar. Calabar stadium used to be fine, but now it is dilapidated. So how can CAF approve such? I don't think that if Enimba qualifies for the group stage, that CAF will approve Calabar stadium for Enimba. So that's what it means is that Enimba will still look for an alternative stadium, which is not good for the pedigree and the status of Enimba. Enimba is known all over the world, most especially in Africa, as a giant. And the governor is just messing the club up. I'm not happy about it.
Okay, thank you so much right there for your message you sent over there. 0817-000951 and 0810-9510-951. Let's move on to the European scene this afternoon. to the Champions League, where Juventus defender Giorgio Chiellini says he knew his team would beat Tottenham Hotspur because Spurs always miss something. At the end, the Italian Giants came from behind to win 2-1 in the second leg of their last 16 Champions League tie at Wembley yesterday for a 4-3 aggregate win. According to him, he says it's the history of Tottenham, added the 33-year-old Italian international. We knew Tottenham have fantastic players and an amazing side, but they concede many chances every game. After a 2-1 draw in Italy, Son Heung-min put Spurs 3-2 ahead on aggregate before 2 goals in 3 second-half minutes from Gonzalo Higuain, and Paulo Dybala took Juventus, runners-up in 2016-2017, into the last 8. Tottenham had late chances, including Harry Kane heading against the post in the 90th minute, but Chiellini excelled as Juventus advanced. While elsewhere, Man City boss Pep Guardiola said his side forgot to attack against Basel as they suffered their first home defeat in 2016, but still reached the Champions League quarter-finals. City's first away win meant Wednesday's second leg of the last 16 tie was almost a formality, with Pep Guardiola resting several first-team players. They led through Gabriel Jesus' opener before Bernardo Silva's cross hit the first goal since November, but Mohamed Elneny last home a leveler and then set up Michael Lang's second half winner. Chibogo, how can you describe Juve's comeback against Spurs last night?
You know, when Tottenham Hotspur actually got the lead in that particular encounter, there were tweets coming off like this one is over, Tottenham have taken this one and stuff like that. But then again, you know, one thing with Tottenham and them getting, should I say, getting a little closer, and you think that this is their time, and unfortunately it's not. This seems to be the trend for them from last season. They get onto the Champions League, but they don't go too far. But if you want to look at Juventus, it could have been an embarrassing exit for them if they had left. You're looking at the runners-up from last season. And I think that this is not what they would have wanted. And it was a spirited comeback from them, massive one. And that quote from Giorgio Chiellini, I really didn't know what to say. When I saw it, I was like, this is an insult to Tottenham Hotspur, honestly, a mild insult. How can you say that? It's just like saying that someone gets so close to something and unfortunately doesn't get it. Subtle insult. But come to think of it, that is what Tottenham is, especially in the Champions League or when they get to the continental stage, and even in the league sometimes.
Erika, at some point yesterday, sometimes Juventus fans carried Arsenal jersey in jubilation. Was it a question of character from Tottenham Hotspur last night?
They lack the character, honestly. They lack the experience. Somehow it showed. Yes, they were brilliant in the group stages where they beat the likes of Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. Even got a very decent result away from home in Italy against Juve. Got the lead yesterday night, but they couldn't hold on to that lead, and I don't know if they paid ultimately for it. They're out of the competition. At this stage, you don't even need to play pretty. They dominated the game yesterday. Juventus, we are blown apart in the first half, but somehow they have to dig deep and eventually relied on those 2 goals coming from Higuain and Dybala, and that was their 2 shots on target, and they took their chances. So we should have taken your chances. The sports guys weren't very clinical. It could have been 2-2 heading into extra time yesterday. The header from Kane that hit the bar and just ran past the goal line there, very, very narrow one. Young Son, who got the only goal for them yesterday, was also close. At some point could have got the brace yesterday. They didn't really take their chances, and at the end of the day, they're out of the competition. One thing they have to learn is that it doesn't matter how pretty you play, all you need is to get the result. Just be pragmatic about it. The fast flow of English football, this time was exposed yesterday, in spite of all their running around and trying to outpace the old guys from from Juventus. At the end of the day, they were punished for it because these guys absorbed the pressure and eventually took their time when it mattered most.
Zazie, can you take anything away from City despite losing their 4th game in all competitions last night?
Well, it was a game they didn't have to win, and the manager of the side knew it. They had already done the business in the first leg of that game against Basel. But again, it just shows that they are humans also, because whatever the team is, when you win your first leg 4-0 away from home, that complacency always comes in, and that was exactly what came in to Man City yesterday. I saw the starting lineup, maybe not the regulars, but a strong enough team to be able to get something out of that game. But we saw the way they played also, not quite convincing. They kept all the possession, no doubt, but they were not able to penetrate. If you watch City play, not only do they keep possession, in keeping possession, they push forward, they go through their opponents. Yesterday, they couldn't go through the opponents. They were just playing around the midfield and all of those. But like I said earlier, it wasn't a game they were taking too seriously. They knew that they were already in the next phase and they were already looking for who to meet there.
And to the UEFA Europa League tonight, where Arsene Wenger has described this season's UEFA Europa League as Arsenal's biggest chance of qualifying for the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal are currently in the 6th position on 45 points in the Premier League table. They are 13 points behind North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur, who occupy the 4th spot. The Wenger side will have to beat Serie A giant AC Milan over 2 legs in the Europa League round of 16 to stand a chance of making Arsenal's dream of being in next season's Champions League a reality. Emeka, Arsenal up against AC Milan. Can Arsenal get the better of rejuvenated AC Milan under Gennaro Gattuso?
It's difficult to say how that will happen. You know, the team is very low in confidence. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They are playing away from home. Even at the weekend, they lost to Brighton. Nobody expected that to happen.
They said they lost to 2 clubs.
Brighton and Albion. Okay. Funny one, that's what you want. But at the end of the day, contrastingly, AC Milan are in a rich vein of form. They've not lost a game this year. You know, I think the last time they lost was sometime in November or so. You know, since Gennaro Gattuso came on, there's been that sort of resurgence the team has been enjoying, and the results have been improved. And they're also through to the Coppa Italia final. So things are going down well for them, and they're playing at home at San Siro. It's difficult to see Arsenal will get a result there, but I mean, if this is European football, if they do the right things, they take their chances, those chances will definitely come. They have players who can create those chances in their fold. But I think it's a mind game. They need to sort out the psychological aspect. That run of poor form, that's dressing room unrest, that's management, fear whether this man will be sacked or not and all that. The players, are they giving the manager the full support and all that? So all that need to be sorted out in the mind of these guys when they go into this kind of encounter. This is a match that will decide their season. As a matter of fact, they are not going to win the league. They are not winning the FA Cup. They're out of that one. The FA Cup, they lost the final to Man City. So this is the match that will determine whether they will play in the Champions League next season. If they fail to impress over 2 legs and they're out of the competition, then they kiss Champions League football goodbye. And even European football goodbye as well. But maybe City, yes, European football goodbye. Exactly.
And to other fixtures, we're expecting Atletico Madrid up against Lokomotiv Moscow as Borussia Dortmund will do battle with Salzburg. CSKA Moscow up against Lyon as Lazio will entertain Dynamo Kiev. Olympique Marseille will be up against Atletico Bilbao as RB Leipzig will play host to Zenit Petersburg as Sporting Lisbon will do battle with Victoria Plzen. Chicago Atletico Madrid should get an easy win against Lokomotiv Moscow.
Pardon?
Atletico Madrid is expected to get an easy win against Lokomotiv Moscow.
Yeah, I expect them to. In as much as we know what happened last weekend against Barcelona, and that was actually a tough encounter. The second in the La Liga is first. But against their opponents today, it's really going to be easy for them, I think, because they have continued to do so well defensively, and they've continued to get the results, turn out the results.
The prediction: AC Milan Arsenal.
AC Milan win. I'm serious. Give the win to AC Milan.
Your prediction?
I think they're going to cause an upset tonight.
No way.
so there's something going on.
Yes, they say Juventus will go through.
Yes.
And I followed
they were on the verge of going through. Yeah, Tottenham. I think Tottenham to go through yesterday, but it didn't happen. Okay. Now there was this funny, post that China put up earlier today about two agent people wrestling, and referred to them as Arsenal and AC Milan living on past glories, and Ghana man was not living. He was like, no, you cannot mention Arsenal and AC Milan in the same class. Because yes, of the truth, they don't belong in the same class. Going by what these teams have achieved in the past, certainly on the European African continent. So, but they are both sleeping giants. Take it or leave it. And it's anybody's game tonight.
Okay, you're saying two things. Anybody's game tonight.
Yes. But I tip us not to cause an upset. They can just salvage their season with a good result tonight.
Okay, Zazi, your prediction, Arsenal AC Milan?
For tonight, well, a draw over 2 legs. I see the Gunners going through.
Over 2 legs, see the Gunners going through. Let's hear from you before we go this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name and location, please.
Yeah, this is Oledi. I'm calling from Aba.
Okay, quickly, let's hear from you.
Okay, I want to comment about my job. I'm giving a kudos to our players, Enyimba. They tried. That was what I was expecting from them. At least to pick a win. You know, I was so optimistic when I told you that not less than 2 Nigerian clubs will go to the group stage. I don't know whether I can remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm still concentrating on that. There must still be here that will go to the group stage. And I know Enyimba will be one of them. I'm expecting Plateau United, even Akwa United, also make it. Even in the 4th club, none of them has already been knocked out. Then looking at it, they have opportunity to keep. So let them know what to do. At least this is the Champions League. Some of them that have defectness, this is their first experience. Let them compose themselves very well. I'm taking them to win. Now let's talk about Tottenham.
Okay, quickly.
Okay, Tottenham, you game yesterday, to me, I give it to Tottenham, but so unfortunate to them, they couldn't make it to go to the next round. That is football for you. That is football for you.
Okay, let's give from another caller this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name and location, please?
Yeah, my location is good.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution quickly.
Yeah, the game is a very cracker game, which was expected to see Arsenal do a wonderful job there, but it's not going to be easy because AC Milan is a very tough side.
Okay.
We are expecting them to win AC Milan if possible. But for me, my prediction was AC Milan at least 2-1.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Let's hear from you quickly.
My name is Jeff. I'm coming from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. This always happens with me. Whenever I watch, like yesterday, I supported Tottenham and knocking out Juventus, but it backfired. I don't know. So today I want Arsenal to knock out
AC Milan.
Yeah, the first leg. I don't know if it will turn and backfire. I don't know.
Okay, we'll wait to find out after the match tonight, right there. Is that you have any messages?
Yes, it's all from Port Harcourt says Tottenham need to be delivered from near success run. And this one coming from Moses from Port Harcourt also says Spurs were naive. At this stage you have to be very clinical, technically alert and be extra special. This should also be a wake-up call for Man U and Man City and Chelsea because Champions League is for those with experience and character. This stage is not for small boys. Moses from Port Harcourt.
Thank you so much, Riley. That's the package. This afternoon is a wrap on the show. If not for anything, at least for your heart, do some for Jonas same time tomorrow. First and foremost, Port Harcourt comes on at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. Bye-bye and stay blessed.
Never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South Sound, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Rooney. The River State government has flagged off its mass vaccination of children against measles across the 23 local government areas. Kickstarting the program in Port Harcourt earlier today on behalf of Governor Nyesom Wike, Commissioner for Health, Professor Prince Chike, said the state government would not relent in investing in the health sector. Professor Chike was joined by the Permanent Secretary of the Primary Healthcare Board, Agriye Harry, who urged members of the public to cooperate with officials involved in the immunization program. Our correspondent, Victor Eziama, reports that the measles vaccination campaign in River State is being executed in conjunction with the World Health Organization, WHO, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. The River State government has requested for additional time to enable it reach an out-of-court settlement of its dispute with the Primary Health Care Association of Nigeria. The main issue in contention is the transfer of salaries of the primary healthcare workers in the state from the Local Government Service Commission to the Primary Healthcare Management Board. The National Industrial Court, sitting in Owerri, Imo State, had asked both parties to report progress at the resumption of hearing today, but it was informed that not much had been achieved since the last time the matter was entertained in court. Counsel to the state government therefore requested for additional time, which the court approved, and thereafter adjourned the matter until the 18th of April. The Nigeria police force has been advised to reconsider the mass disarming of groups, criminals, which would put the life and property of citizens at risk.
More crime will happen. People phone bad, people will bounce up with door, break people shop,